Alessia Adler, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
All right. It's great to have you. So, what is the deal with thriving?
Thriving is it's so all-encompassing. It's not just about how you look, it's about how you feel, but also how you talk about yourself, how you're showing up for yourself, how you're spending your energy, who you're spending your energy with. Thriving is a whole encompassing mindset of mind, body, and spirit energy. So when people are thriving, all those things are in alignment. They're all working together harmoniously and fluidly. Um, it's about understanding how to get there. And then the key is how to maintain it once you reach that space that doesn't feel like a burden or like a chore. It's because you've changed your wiring or your mindset or your energy to be in a thriving state. And then that way it turns into a natural way of life and a lifestyle versus a moment in time or just a quick fix. Like
Mhm.
I'm thriving in this moment, and the next moment I'm, you know, suffering. So it's a whole mind body way of living.
So, it sounds like alignment and integration of mind, body, and spirit,
Yes,
and more of a state than a moment, right? It's like a state of being almost.
correct.
Okay.
Yeah, a state of being. That's a great way of saying it.
Okay. And what led you to develop an interest in thriving?
I mean, who doesn't love to thrive?
Sure.
I don't know anybody where you're like, would you like to thrive? And they're like, no, thanks. Like, that's not really, I don't really want to thrive. I just want to survive all the time. Uh, we used to work in corporate and I worked in finance for many, many years. And I recognized that that was not my place to thrive. Financially, I was thriving, but emotionally and spiritually, I was surviving. Like I was just kind of going through the motions day to day. And my daughter went to college and I became an empty nester. And so that forced me into a state of what am I doing with my life? I am unfulfilled and I'm in my mid 40s. I'm 46 now. I started this when I was 44. I'd actually been doing it way before that, part time. I used to do all of my corporate and wellness things before or after work, where I would take days off of work. And I used to call my business my side piece. And I'm so glad that it became my main one, because that's when I really started to thrive for myself and feel this sense of like fulfillment that I had not felt before in my career, but also personally. When I went out on my own, it really forced me to learn how to thrive and survive and be happy with spaces that had previously made me feel uncomfortable or unsafe, how to find safety in those spaces. I didn't even realize it at the time when it was happening, but now in hindsight, hindsight's always 2020. I realized that I started to thrive once I pushed myself outside of my comfort zone and pushed myself to feel more fulfillment in my life in a day-to-day workspace, but also a physical and mental and emotional space as well.
Interesting. So, talk to me a little bit about the side piece. So, when you were working in corporate, you had this side piece, and this was servicing clients and certain types of, was it yoga, for example? Was it stretch? Like, what
Yeah.
type of services were you?
So it started off as yoga.
Okay.
So the history of Thrive Mind and Body was it stemmed during the pandemic, actually. I was working in corporate and the pandemic hit, and I was in the process of getting my certification, getting recertified as a yoga teacher.
Mhm.
And I ended up asking the head of the administrative department were all burning out. Like we were all just working all the time and we were churning and burning and it was overwhelming. We were starting to burn out. And so I asked, can I teach a yoga class during lunch for 45 minutes just to give us a break, just to kind of allow us time to center on ourselves. And so that's where I started to teach virtually. And it started with just our Greenwich office, and then it expanded out to our UK office, and then our LA office started to join, and then Germany. And so before I knew it, I had 20, 30 women from all over the world joining for these weekly 45-minute yoga classes. The women's network ended up getting wind of it and asked if I could teach a seminar on breath work,
Mhm.
stress awareness, things like that. And so I did a Zoom call for that. And then our company got wind of it. And before I knew it, I was presenting to the whole company on chair yoga and breath work. And
Mhm.
so that kind of gave me a moment of like, oh, wow. But that company started to downsize because of the pandemic. And so I lost my job. And at the time, I still had my daughter at home. There was no opportunity for me to pursue it full time. So I did odd end jobs and started to grow a little bit of a network um, for yoga clients and personal training clients
Mhm.
during that time while still looking for another corporate job.
Mhm.
I got one. And when they hired me, I said flat out, I teach yoga before and after work. I just want to make sure that's not going to be a conflict. And they were like, nope, as long as it doesn't interfere with your work, that's fine. And for a long time, it didn't. I managed my reputation started to grow. I got referrals of new customers and clients for yoga or stretching or personal training before and after work. But then it started to like really, like I was being pulled in each direction. And I had to make a decision. And that was right around the time that I became an empty nester. And that's when I decided, you know what, I'm going to pursue this full time. And the growth of my company happened also very organically. And I think that's part of thriving is when things are in alignment, there's a natural flow to the universe and to what's happening. And so it almost felt like there was a wind behind me that was constantly just pushing me forward.
Mhm.
And that was what helped me feel safe and secure in the ability to thrive. Not that I didn't have, uh, certainly I had insecurities and certainly I had moments of self doubt and imposter syndrome and all those things that entrepreneurs experience at one point or another. But there was just something bigger that kept telling me, keep going, keep going, keep going. And that's how I ended up getting my nutrition certification and my stretch therapy certification and my personal training certification and my Pilates and bar certification. I actually just registered now for Pilates reformer certification. That's how I took a class for Harvard Medical School online for lifestyle and wellness coaching. So it all just kind of happened. The more people were asking for what programs I offer, the more I realized like, oh, I could get certified in this and I can get certified in this. And how can I do something else that will help people feel better about themselves within their own skin, within their own body, within their own mind? Our mind is our biggest trigger and it, to conquer how we think and how we talk to ourselves, especially in moments of anxiety or self-doubt, is the most powerful tool you can offer to someone. Teaching someone how to breathe to calm down their nervous system, teaching someone how to love themselves a little bit more versus tearing themselves apart a little bit more, teaching someone that they have the ability to do more with their body than they ever thought possible through fitness and movement. Those things are just incredible. And then to meet with corporations
Mhm.
and work with them on the wellness of their employees,
Mhm.
that is really so wonderful because now you're also realizing this is transcending the individual, but it's coming into a much bigger platform within corporate, the corporate market space, and finding companies that recognize that taking care of your employees is part of the package, not just how much salary they're getting, what's their 401k, do they have a matching plan, what are their benefits? Yes, those are all important. But at
Mhm.
the end of the day, you spend most of your time at work.
Mhm.
So if that space isn't helping you feel better about yourself
Mhm.
or providing some sort of healthy outlet, how long before you burn out and want to leave or feel like this isn't the right space or feel taken advantage of, taken for granted? And
Mhm.
when that starts to happen, then the spiral starts of quiet quitting or um, taking on, negative patterns towards yourself and not prioritizing yourself because company comes first. So there's a lot of different things that can happen in the process.
Very interesting. So, did I hear this right where during the pandemic, being in corporate America, you noticed at your employer that people were burning out and unhealthy during that time, and this is how Thrive Mind and Body was kind of born, was during that kind of seeing what was going on around you and saying and wanting
Yeah.
to help solve that problem of burnout and of people frankly just not doing well at the time, and that
Yeah.
that was the
Honestly,
necessity, the need that you saw.
yeah, it just started from wanting to help people take a moment, 45 minutes out of their day to take care of themselves. That's where it all stemmed from. And then from there, grew like, the tree, the logo. It started like a little seedling that I just planted, and then it grew.
Interesting, very interesting. So,
Yeah.
give me the dummy's guide to yoga because I know yoga could have different facets. So, talk to me like I'm a third grader about
Got
yoga
it.
because
Okay, so
I kind of
yoga,
am when it comes to yoga.
I got you. This is a great question and I love it. So yoga in Sanskrit means to yoke, to blend together. And it is the blending together of mind and body that creates the yoga practice. So that's just the stripped down version. Connect your body with your mind with your body. Like, how are you moving? What muscles are you engaging? Tune into yourself. Ask yourself, get curious about yourself. Does this feel good in my body? Yes? Great. Keep doing it. No? Modify, change it, figure out what that means, ask questions, get curious. So that's what I love about the yoga practice is it invites curiosity. And there's no wrong way to do it other than if you're hurting yourself. Um, but certainly there's different varieties. There's people hear about Bikram and Vinyasa and power and Hatha and Ashtanga, and those are all the different sectors. Those are, call it like there's the pizza, the base, and then there's the toppings, and those are just various toppings that you can get on top of the pizza. It's all under the same umbrella.
I like that. It's a good visual. And those
Yeah.
those um those sectors are those like different teachers or philosopher like ways
Different teachers, philosophers, but also different practices, right? So today I taught three different yoga classes, and one of them was a yoga sculpt class, which has yoga, cardio, and weights. So I call that almost like an entry drug, like a gateway drug for the people that are like not really into yoga, but like want to stretch a little bit, but also want to strength train. That's where they're at. Then I taught a vinyasa flow. That is connecting your breath with your movement. So every time you lengthen and you get long, you take a nice deep breath in. Every time you curl or you get smaller, you exhale. Just a natural course of life, right? Like if I was to tell you right now, Matt, take a deep breath in, like actually do it. Take a deep breath in. What naturally just occurred in your body? And this is amazing because people look at me when I ask them that question every
I,
time and they
I
like, what do you mean?
I
What
felt more
happened?
relaxed right away. I mean, there was
Right. But like
a decrease of
physically, like,
tension. Oh,
right. But that's emotional.
in,
Physically, what
intake of
happened in your body?
intake
Take a
of
nice,
oxygen, intake of oxygen
right.
there,
Good. Yep. And when you take something in, what happens to your body? Does it get bigger or smaller?
and expands,
Correct. So take that breath in again. What just happened?
expanded.
Yeah. Did you sit up a little taller? Did you notice your chest going up a little bit?
Yes.
Okay. So that's the mind body connection, right? That right there. You just did yoga. Congratulations. You connected your breath with your movement and you became more aware of how your body moved in that moment.
I feel like I just had an accomplishment for the day right there. I did
You
yoga.
did check done. You're like, you can go. I just became a yogi today.
I just did yoga.
Now, same thing. Let's talk about an exhale. So take that same breath in, big breath in, right? You're expanding. Now, exhale it out. What happens in your body?
I
Are you
guess
kidding?
getting smaller.
Yes, I heard you wanting to say the word. I was like, come on, you got it. Yeah. So when you take a breath in, you expand, you get bigger, right? When you're putting something into something else, it's going to get bigger.
Hmm.
When you take your breath out, you're getting smaller.
Hmm.
You can hunch down, you can curl in.
Hmm.
So that's why in yoga, every time you inhale, it's usually a pose that creates length or expansion or space in your body. And every time you exhale, it's a contraction, it's smaller, it's a twist. You need to take stuff out of your body, and you can't take your organs out, you can't take your bones out, but what you can do is take out your breath, remove that. It's like a balloon, right? You expand it, and then exhale, you contract it and it gets smaller.
Hmm.
So that's just a general philosophy about yoga. Beyond that, there's different types and practices. Ashtanga, where it's the same set of series of poses. Bikram, same thing. High heat. Hatha, a little bit slower, a little bit more intentional. Yin, very slow. Um, but they're all under the same premise of connecting your mind with your body. Ask yourself, what's happening in my body when I do this?
Hmm.
How is it shifting my body? Do I like it? Do I not? And then kind of get curious and go down that rabbit hole.
Super helpful. Thank you for that. And
Hmm.
what's the
You're
deal
welcome on
with
becoming a yogi.
what's the deal with hot yoga? I've heard some story of people going to very hot rooms. Tell me about hot yoga. I've heard some
Oh,
pretty extreme. I've never
what's really
been.
funny is when people ask me what I do for work. This was like maybe a year ago. Somebody asked me, "What do you do for work?" And I told them I'm a hot yoga teacher. And they kind of paused and like were taken aback. And I heard what that sounded like because they didn't know I taught in a heated room. It sounded like I was saying I'm a hot yoga teacher. And and then I had to like backpedal and I was like, I mean, I'm a yoga teacher that teaches heated classes. And I made a joke of like, I'm also really humble about it. Like, you know, so the deal with the heat is there's so many benefits to it. One, your muscles tend to be more relaxed in a hot environment, right? Like it's just easier to move when you're not cold. Because when you're cold, you're like, I don't want to move. I'm a tin man. But when you're warm, you're more relaxed. Like muscle fibers are more expanded. So like it just gets easier to get into poses. Then you have the sweat component of it, right? You're just sweating so much more. Like people leave my classes sometimes looking like they took a shower. Um, so that is not only helping you to like breath with movement, get the sweat going, but it's detoxifying your body. You feel like you're getting a workout. You're detoxifying your body through the sweat, right? That's how you detox is sweat it out. And then on top of that, you also have the element of oh my God, and it just escaped my mind. I was talking about detoxifying your body, the heat, the sweat. Oh, your metabolism. You burn more calories when you're in a heated room because your body is working harder at just keeping you at homeostasis. So now your heart rate elevates to try to get your body temperature. Your heart rate is elevating because of the heat, and your body's trying to keep it low so that you don't overheat. And now you're burning more calories in the process because your heart rate's getting higher. So now you're getting into an anaerobic state. You're hitting that fat burning zone. And then, like, it all comes together in a beautiful harmony of symphony of sweat. That's what I call it.
Nice. What type of temperature are we talking here? How hot does this
It
get?
can range, man. I mean, you got some classes that are 80, 85 degrees, and that's not bad. That's like doing yoga in Florida, right? But then you have some classes that like Bikram, that's the hottest one. It can get up to 110. Like it's crazy. My classes don't go over 95. But the temperature can range, and you really need to make sure that you call ahead and find out what that range is. Don't be afraid of the heat though. I had a woman today come to my class and she was like, I took your class. It was not as heated. It was, like one of the ones that was like 85 degrees. And she was like, that was fine. I'm a little worried about today's heat. So I told her, set up your mat by the door. If you start to feel overheated, step outside, get some fresh air, and then come right back in. Right. But then she stayed the whole class. She was fine. I think people get in their heads about it more than anything else. People also get super self-conscious about taking a yoga class. What if I don't know the moves? What if I don't know the terminology? What if, I mess up? People are going to be looking at me. No one cares. No one's looking at you like you're looking at yourself.
Mhm.
No one cares. So, and the best excuse, excuse, but I mean, it is kind of an excuse. People are like, oh, I can't do yoga. I'm not flexible.
Mhm.
Okay. So you think that by not doing something that's going to help that situation, like we want to stay like a tin man for the rest of our lives?
Mhm.
So, there's always like, it's always interesting to see how people respond to me telling them that I'm a hot yoga teacher.
The Tin Man. I like that. But so you answered my next question, which is going to be along the lines of what do you say to somebody who's hesitant or intimidated or a first timer about trying it out? But it sounds like it's basically like, hey, nobody's really watching you. Don't worry too much about that. And even yoga itself, it's very you can't do it wrong, it sounds like, unless you're hurting yourself. That sounds like the main thing. So there's no like
That's
one
right.
size fits all correct way to do it. There's variations and there's freedom within it.
Totally. I always say in my classes, modifications are a sign of wisdom, not weakness.
Mhm.
Now, there are some yoga teachers that I've heard exist out there who tell people you can't use blocks and you can't modify, you have to stay in this pose. Every teacher has their own way of doing things. So you have to find the right teacher for you. And I always, another ism, Alessia ism is I'm not everyone's cup of tea. I'm someone's shot of whiskey.
Mhm.
So I might not be the yoga teacher for you. You might come to my class and completely not like my style, not like my rhythm, not like the fact that I swear sometimes and
Mhm.
say inappropriate jokes. Like that might not be your jam, but for someone else, it might be. So you just have to find your right teacher and don't use that first experience if it was not a positive one as oh, this is what yoga is. I'm never doing it again. Because that just takes the opportunity away to explore and find something that does work. But yeah, there really is no wrong way to do yoga. You just got to listen to your body first and have a good time. Like
Mhm.
that's what it's about. It's just connecting your mind with your body.
Interesting. So give me a success story of, we'll call it a Tin Man, where a Tin Man came in. Obviously, I don't want their name or anything, but it's a Tin Man comes in, and that was like the before, right? And now the after, or a Tin Woman, and like the
In
after,
person.
Tin Person. Give me like a success story of somebody who you've seen them come a long way, and what that journey's been like for you and for them.
Honestly, it's not one person, it's a whole group of people.
Hmm.
I teach a group of older members at Lifetime.
Hmm.
Called the Aurora group, and they're the 65 plus crowd.
Hmm.
And I've been teaching them for about a year now.
Hmm.
And most of them, this was their first yoga class. So we started very slow. And the thing that I worked on with them the most was balance, because as we age, balance is something that goes along with flexibility. So I wanted them to be able to have a stronger foundation, literally from the ground up, so that they don't risk falling down and hurting themselves and injuring themselves. And the transformation that I have seen in that class of these members who are 65 plus has been absolutely inspiring. And it's actually wonderful that you just asking me this question, because I literally said this to them yesterday that, or not yesterday, but on Wednesday, like that it marked a year of our class and how incredible. Like some of them came in, they didn't know what any poses were. Some of them came in, they couldn't touch their toes. Some of them came in, they couldn't stand on one leg. Some of them came in, they couldn't, they didn't have their own body awareness. And now some of them came in, they couldn't sit crisscross applesauce. Their knees would be like up by their ears.
Hmm.
um some of them came in, they couldn't even sit down,
Hmm.
and now they're all sitting down, they're balancing so much better, they're connecting their breath with their movement, they become so much more aware, they're excited, they
Hmm.
look forward to coming back, they look forward to learning. And to me, that is incredible and so inspiring. And that's my why, because of people like that who show up not knowing anything, are open to learning, and then keep showing up and stay consistent. And then they start to see the improvements.
Hmm.
And that's when the magic happens.
Hmm.
It happens in all aspects of fitness or wellness. It happens with nutrition. It happens with yoga. It happens with personal training. I had a woman who reached out to me on Instagram a year ago. When she and I started working, she could barely even stay on all fours. Her elbows would start to hurt, her body would start to hurt. Her diet wasn't very healthy. And now she's doing squat lunges and she's, doing core work for 5 minutes. She's eating cleaner. She's starting to feel stronger. So it's because she stayed consistent. She kept showing up, even on days where it felt hard, even when on days when it felt, not good. And my clients, my private clients, they are, I have end up having such beautiful experiences with them because you are being invited into their home, which is their safe space. And so you're sharing with them, you're getting to know their families, you're getting to know their kids, and you watch them progress. I've worked with clients through their pregnancies. I've worked through clients through their miscarriages. I've worked with clients through their postpartums.
Mhm.
And to see how the body changes, but also the emotional state and the mind changes. I
Mhm.
had one client who I've been working with for 5 years now. He's one of my favorites. When I first met him, he had the mindset, no pain, no gain.
Mhm.
And I had to work really hard. He's had 7 knee surgeries. I had to work really hard to teach him that's not it. Just because you're not feeling pain doesn't mean it's not working.
Mhm.
He finally gets it now. But for him, it took almost 3 years
Mhm.
for his rewiring to happen.
Mhm.
So now when it's ski season time, we start prepping, we start doing movements that will help strengthen his knees. And he's dialed it back on how he does things so that he gets stronger from the inside out, not just like go, 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 go.
Mhm.
So, I mean, I have tons of stories like that where you just got to try and you just have to keep showing up. And that's the thing that separates, honestly, the 1% from everyone else is
Mhm.
they just keep showing up and other people stop because it gets hard or it gets complicated or it gets, whatever reason. Some people self-sabotage. They get close to their goal and then they just bottom out
Mhm.
because they were afraid to achieve their goal.
Mhm.
So it's very interesting, the human psychology behind it as well.
Sure. No, it's fascinating about that 1%, about that 1%. It's the consistency and it's the showing up, to keep showing up, right? Did I hear that
Mhm.
right? That's kind of the
Yeah.
1%, yeah, that aspect. So, all right, so tell me about, so I'm thinking about that integration or that alignment, which goes into thriving, right? So tell me about the nutritional component, because that's also super important, right? So talk to me
It
about.
is. I mean, like I always say, it's if you can't work out, then eat right. If you can't eat right, make sure you're working out. Best if you can do both.
Mhm.
The one thing I tell all my nutrition clients is I am not the nutritionist that is going to tell you to eat steamed chicken and broccoli every day because I don't want to eat like that. So I would never put that on somebody else, right?
Right.
I want people to enjoy their food and their life because if you are making lasting changes, it needs to be something that where you don't feel deprived and you can feel like good and excited about the food that you're eating.
Mhm.
Um, so it's hard. The nutrition one is the hardest one, honestly, because as a trainer, I can be there to make them do another push-up. I can tell them you got this. As a nutritionist, I can't be there to swat the ice cream out of their hand like that. I can't be there to tell them like that fried chicken's not it, man.
Mhm.
um so it's them versus them, and that's the hardest thing. I also have, you also deal with people that are stubborn and they know what they need to do and they just refuse to because of one reason or another.
Mhm.
So you have to learn how to meet people where they are.
Mhm.
And all I can do is bring the horse to the water. I can't force it to drink. But
Mhm.
when it comes to nutrition, it's really about understanding what macros are. And
Mhm.
that's the thing that not everyone knows or understands the difference between macronutrients and micronutrients. And we'll get into that in just a second.
Mhm.
And understand how they work together.
Mhm.
So macronutrients, macros, you hear about this a lot, are your proteins, your fats, and your carbs. Those are the building blocks of your body, those three things.
Hmm.
Then you have the micronutrients. You have the vitamins and minerals. Those come in foods and, all the things you eat, supplements, whatever. The macros are the big ones. So depending on what your goals are, there's a ratio. And the one thing I can say is carbs aren't the enemy.
Hmm.
Like you need a certain amount of carbs. Fat is not bad. You need a certain amount of fat. It's when it starts to get excessive, that's when it can turn into a negative, not a positive.
Hmm.
So it's about understanding the quantities of each one and how it works together in harmony to help you achieve your goals. So
Hmm.
if you want to lose weight, you want to take in more protein than fat and carbs. If you want to gain muscle, you want to take in way more carbs than fats and proteins.
Hmm.
So there's different ways to eat in order to feed your body and nourish your body for the results that you're looking for. And if you're working out, working out, working out, working out, it's not working, you have to start to look at how am I eating?
Hmm.
And if you're eating healthy, but your workouts aren't translating,
Hmm.
then you also have to look at, okay, am I doing the right workouts with how I'm fueling myself? The
Hmm.
one thing most people are surprised about is when I tell them that they're actually eating too little and they need to eat a little bit more in order to not have their body go into a state of starvation. And if you're not eating enough, there's like a delicate balance between eating not enough and too much. If you're not eating enough, you end up in a space where it's your body's holding on and storing fat because it doesn't know when it's getting its next meal. And that brings it down to our ancestral level and the fight or flight mode and all of that stuff. And our body doesn't know that we have Instacart or Uber Eats available to us, right?
Hmm.
All it knows is I'm not getting fed enough on a consistent basis. I need to hold on to all the energy I possibly can. So I'm going to store this and hold on to it for dear life before I let it go. And once you start feeding your body the right way, that's when it's like, oh, I'm getting consistent nutrients. I can not hold on to this anymore because I'm getting all the nutrients I need.
Hmm. Nice. So what's that Alessia-ism about when you're at a restaurant and there's a lot of unhealthy choices, you get the least worst? What's that Alessia-ism? That was
Yo, I have so many clients, and I have their spouses too, who joke around like you are in the back of my wife or husband's head all the time. So the thing I tell all my clients, if there's one takeaway from our session, is eat the healthiest thing of the non-healthy option. You want the pizza, have the pizza, but don't have it with sausage and pepperoni and meatballs and the whole thing, right? Have a plain cheese pizza. I would rather you have a plain cheese pizza than a pizza smothered in meats.
Mhm.
If you want a burger, have the burger.
Mhm.
Don't get it with the bacon and cheese and the whole thing.
Mhm.
Maybe get a turkey burger or get a burger, but maybe don't have it on the bun.
Mhm.
Don't get the sweet potatoes on the side. Eat a salad on the side instead.
Mhm.
Like, still give your body the cravings that it wants, but do it in a healthier way. Eat the healthiest version of the non-healthy option.
Mhm.
You want buffalo wings? You want buffalo wings? Have the buffalo wings, but have them grilled with the buffalo sauce. So now at least you're getting the buffalo sauce, which has butter in it,
Mhm.
but at least you're not getting it on top of the fried skin.
Mhm. Love that. Makes a lot of sense. So, and
It's just
it's
a way to like not
practical.
feel
It's
deprived.
practical too. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
practical. When you
practical.
look at that menu and it's not an all or nothing. It's okay. I can do this. It's almost like yoga where you can modify something, right? It's like,
Ah, I love that.
um,
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
so I'm thinking like, let's say the past few days here where give me some, I'll call them like power foods that you've taken in over the past few days, you yourself. And then,
Oh my gosh. So people ask me this all the time. How do you track your macros? How do you eat? What do you do? And I'm like, ooh, I am not the benchmark for this one. Um, because I exercise so much in my day-to-day life and I naturally have a high metabolism that I'm just constantly putting food in.
Mhm.
I am a seasonal eater. So what that means is I eat what's in season. In the summer and spring, I tend to eat lighter foods, so more fish, chicken breast, lots more greens, salads. That's not true. I have salads year round, but I enjoy them more in the winter
Mhm.
or summer. Fall, winter, I start to pivot into heavier foods because your body has to naturally work harder to keep you warm when it's cold outside. And so your metabolism tends to go up a little bit more in the wintertime, or mine does. So in the wintertime, I'm eating more red meat. I crave it actually. I want more of the red meats. I want more of the grains. I want more of the like full fat foods. I'll eat like 2% Greek yogurt in the wintertime. And in the summertime, I'll eat 0% Greek fat yogurt. In the wintertime, I'll eat an entire avocado and like not think twice about it. In the summertime, I'll eat a quarter of an avocado. I pivot my diet based on the season because of how my metabolism adjust to the seasons. But that's because I'm tuned into my body. So I know this about myself. That might not work for somebody else.
Mhm.
Everyone has to, again, have that mind body connection so that you can thrive. And part of that process is understanding how does your body want to be fed during the different seasons.
Mhm.
Um, I have my cravings right now. One of my favorite things to have is Greek yogurt with a scoop of peanut butter powder. But actually, now that it's winter, I take like real almond butter and I mix it in. And then I take some raspberry jelly and I mix it in. And it's almost like a creamy almond butter jelly, like sandwich flavor thing. I don't know. That's like the kick that I'm on right now for whatever reason.
Mhm.
Um, I also am on a kick right now of stews. So, beef stew, vegetable stew. I just like want that like thick, hearty food. So it for me, I always tell people, don't look at how I eat. I'm not the norm.
Mhm. Mhm.
I people are mainly surprised by how much I can eat given my size and stature.
Okay. You have a strong metabolism or high metabolic rate. Is that what it is? So when
Yeah, it's a high met. I just have a high metabolic rate. I just burn through stuff, but also because I'm so active.
yeah, makes sense. So let's toggle back a little bit to the I guess the fitness part, right? So there's yoga. I've been hearing this. I don't know if maybe I'm just catching up, but pure barre, is how you pronounce it?
Pure bar. Yeah,
Bar.
that's a little bit
So
of a trend right
it's
now.
a
There's
trend,
like
right?
trends that come in and out. There's Club
Mhm.
Pilates that's, like the Pilates, like where it's like music and SLPs, Club Pilates, core burn. Those are like the hot ticket items. Pure
Mhm.
Bar has been in the game for a while, bar classes. There's a bunch of different like fitness
Mhm.
trends that will happen, like Zumba was huge a few years ago.
Mhm.
Spin, cycling, huge. Still is kind of, but like dying out a little bit right now with pure bars and core burns and things like that that are coming up. At the end of the day, those are all fads and they're great. And there's always going to be a time and place for them, but kiss it. Keep
Mhm.
it stupid simple.
Mhm.
All you really need is strength training, some sort of stretching. Doesn't have to be yoga, just stretch, whether it's a stretch therapist session that you go to, stretch lab, um, and cardio. That's it. That's all you need. We don't need to overcomplicate it. But, things get stagnant and get boring,
Mhm.
and your body adjusts to your workouts.
Mhm.
So, I will never forget, I had this student at a yoga studio that I used to work out 5 years ago, and he had lost a tremendous amount of weight just coming to, he did yoga classes 5 days a week. I think he lost something like almost 100 pounds and also changed his diet, but like
Mhm.
stopped drinking, the whole thing. But like that's all he was doing for his workouts. And he ended up like leveling out, just couldn't lose any more weight. And I kept telling him, I'm like, it's because your body is now used to this workout. What
Mhm.
was challenging to you before is no longer challenging to you now. So you have to keep your body guessing. So that's where these fads that come in and out, they're not terrible. Like I'm not mad at them because it allows people to move in different ways. But at the end of the day, you can always come back to strength training,
Mhm.
cardio, stretching. That's it.
Interesting. So it sounds like you take things really seriously when it comes to professional licenses and certifications and continuing education. And part of this podcast has turned into learning about different careers, learning about different trades. So tell me a little bit about like if somebody wanted to kind of follow in your footsteps of becoming nutritionist or personal trainer, yoga instructor, whatever it might be, and they're thinking about it, right? What's your journey been like when it comes to continuing education, certifications, all that good stuff? Because it sounds like you take that really seriously from a professional standpoint.
I do. And honestly, it's so great that you asked me this because just yesterday I had a meeting with one of my nutrition clients, and he is this member of this group. It's meant to be an accountability group, but this guy, I don't even know his name. I don't know anything about this, but all I know is that my client, I've been working with him for a year. He has been struggling to lose weight because he has a hard time staying consistent with his diet and his exercise. And he came in and he was like, I want to lose 50 pounds by April. And I was like, where's this coming from? Like, losing 50 pounds by April is an aggressive goal,
Mhm.
especially given your history. Where's this coming from? And then it came out that it was because of this guy who he is a member of his community, and the guy challenged him to lose 50 pounds by April, and
Mhm.
he had to put in money. And I was like, what happens if you don't meet that goal? What happens to the money? And he
Mhm.
goes, the guy gets it.
Mhm.
And I was like, are you effing kidding me? I was like, what are this guy's qualifications? I was like, is he a nutritionist? He was like, no. I was like, is he a personal trainer? No. Does he have any certification whatsoever that gives him the educational knowledge to make you have this level of a goal? He was like, no. I was like, he's stealing your money.
Mhm.
That's an unattainable goal for you.
Mhm.
This guy is just so there's a lot of hacks out there, and that's unfortunate that prey on people that are looking for community. You do need to look for people that are certified because we do have the education to go behind what we're talking about, and that is important. So, in the fitness industry, you have NASM. Don't ask me what these acronyms stand for. I can't remember. I think it's National Academy of Science Sports Medicine. I think that's it.
Mhm.
Then you have ISSA, International Sports. I forget what that one's called.
Mhm.
And you have ACE, ACE. And I definitely don't know what that stands for. NASM is kind of like the top tier. Then I think you have ACE, then you have ISSA. Um, and those are three programs that you can go to for your group fitness, for your personal training, for your nutrition. They offer all those certifications. For yoga, there's the Yoga Alliance. And so you have to take a course of a minimum 200 hours through a Yoga Alliance certified yoga studio in
Mhm.
order to become a certified yoga teacher. And those courses teach you anatomy, breath work, mindfulness, meditation. There's so much more that goes into it. Even with one of the NASA ISSA or ACE courses, you learn about anatomy, you learn about the body, you learn about what muscle atrophy means, and you learn what the sympathetic system is and the parasympathetic nervous system is, and you learn about um, macros and micronutrients and all those things. So it helps you understand the body better so that when you're speaking to a client, you do have that knowledge um, that and the science behind the reason that you're explaining things to them.
Mhm.
And so definitely look for those qualifications in whoever you work for. And please do not give your money to someone on a challenge like that you know online and doesn't know you from a hole in the wall. Like that's not it. Like
Yeah,
DM me, ask me first. I don't know.
they didn't teach
Luckily he
that
ended
enough.
up not doing it with him, which was great because I was like, let's figure out new goals and we can make them as aggressive as we want them to be within a space that is realistic for you. And so we're kind of working it out, but it's something that happens all the time.
They didn't teach that in the Harvard course that you took to take $50 was $50, $500 from a client and see what
No,
happened.
they definitely didn't teach that. Yeah,
Gamble
definitely
on
not.
50-pound weight loss.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Oh,
sound like it was part of the course. So
seriously. Yeah. And even like certifications like that, like it was a good exercise for me to go through to understand, especially for the corporate wellness side of my business, where I'm going into companies and I am talking to them about how to reduce stress at work, how to stay focused at work, different techniques. I mean, obviously, they're giving you the foundation. It's up to you to make it your own. So you use it as a building block or a stepping stone. But yeah, it's important to have those. I think that it's very important that whoever you work with has those certifications.
Yes. So I have a question about that survive and and then getting to thrive, right? So when you start to approach thriving, what does that feel like as opposed to the just the surviving part? What starts to kick in like
I
emotionally
think
and
it's
feelings wise?
different for every person. I know that for me, it started to feel like peace, but also it was so many things. It
Mhm.
was peace, but also energy. Like I felt excited to get up every day. Like I am working way harder now than I ever did before,
Mhm.
way harder.
Mhm.
Um, and not making the same level of income that I was before, if we're totally transparent.
Mhm.
Um, but I feel more excited about my days. I look forward to getting up and going to work. I look forward to helping people. I look forward to my meetings. Now, is every day like that? No. Is
Mhm.
every client that I have someone that I look forward to working with? No. But I have fired clients. There have been the clients that I have been like, you're not my jam, and I don't have to work with you. I've lost clients and for no reason. Don't know what happened. They just poof disappeared. And I'm like, what just happened there? I don't know. So it's for me, it was a state of feeling peaceful, but
Mhm.
also feeling so much more energized and fulfilled. So it's weird to say peace and energized at the same time, but
Mhm.
it was like this, it really did create this like opposition in my body of feeling like, oh, like,
I like
and it
that.
could feel different for everyone is going to feel different about it.
I like that feeling peaceful and energized at the same time. That's like, it can be
Yeah,
that end statement. It doesn't need to be an or there, right? There could be an end feeling both.
that's exactly right. Two statements can be true.
Yeah. So what's the most fulfilling part of your work?
Helping people,
Mhm.
helping people, just seeing people thrive,
Mhm.
helping them thrive, helping them realize their potential, helping them learn new things about themselves, about their body,
Mhm.
helping them realize what they're capable of.
Mhm.
It's amazing. It's fulfilling. It's creating connections, creating community, having this, I call all my students and clients my Thrive Tribe. So having this tribe of people that are also rooting for me,
Mhm.
that's really cool,
Mhm.
is having not only people that I am rooting for,
Mhm.
but that I feel also have my back and are excited to see what I do and grow my business. So it's incredibly the symbiotic relationship. I think that's the right word.
Yeah, it definitely seems like you're a teacher as well. Like you have ownership over this, the knowledge and the facts. You like to share that. It's not like you just going through the motions or instructing people. You're actually kind of owning the info and sharing it with people in a very understandable way. Like I feel like you're able to simplify. So that there's a teacher component to you, which I guess is part of. I don't know if all yoga instructors are that way or personal trainers, but I feel like the why behind it, like you did a good job explaining that, rather than just like do 5 push-ups or eat more protein. Like there's an underlying knowledge that you seem to like to share, which is kind of the essence of teaching, in my view.
I talk to people how I like to be talked to. So for me, I like to understand the why because then it makes it tangible.
Mhm.
Um, when I was growing up, my mom would always be like, do this. And I would be like, why? And she was like, because I said so.
Mhm.
And that just, oh. So when I became a mom, I promised I would never, ever do that. And I do not make blanket statements. I'm usually like, I generally try not, I try to keep it a little bit more wiggle roomish.
Mhm.
But on that one, I really stuck to it. And with my daughter, I always gave her a why.
Mhm.
Please do this. Why? Because we need to do XYZ. And so I need you to do this so that we can do XYZ. Now, if she pushed back after I gave her the why, then it was also because I'm your mom and I say so.
Mhm.
So even with my clients, I give them the why. If they push back, I also eventually get to the point where I'm like, look, you paid me to do this, so you need to trust me that I'm doing my job.
Mhm.
Listen to my advice
Mhm.
or stop working with me
Mhm.
because I'm not doing this with you. I'm
Mhm.
not going to constantly fight an uphill battle for you to listen to what I'm saying when I'm the one that has done the work,
Mhm.
knows has the knowledge, has the certifications, understands the science, gave you the reason, and you still don't want to do it,
Mhm.
then that's on you. And I don't want to be a part of your failure.
Mhm. Interesting.
I want to be a part of your success when you're ready to be on that journey and be open to hearing everything that I need to say.
Mhm.
And listen, it's not a dictatorship. I'm not telling people what to do, and if they don't listen, bye.
Mhm.
I give suggestions and then I let them decide what they want to do. And if they're still not hitting their goals,
Mhm.
that's when I go back to maybe we should try what I suggested.
Mhm.
And if they still don't want to, okay. But then I do eventually reach the point where I'm like, look, you hired me for a reason.
Mhm.
And you're either going to listen to me or not. But if you're not going to listen to me, then I don't know why I'm here.
Makes sense. So we do some icebreakers at the end of the episode, so it's kind of reverse. I'll do a couple icebreaker questions at the end here.
Okay.
And um, and then don't definitely want to go through your contact information and all the good stuff.
Hmm.
What's your spirit animal?
Unicorn.
Okay, okay, that's good. I like that. That's- why is that? I think I know the answer, but
Because they're magical and mystical and you don't see them very often. And that's me. I'm magical, mystical, and there's only one of me out there.
that's so
So,
great. That's great. That's a great one.
yeah,
If you were to travel, you could have dinner with a historical figure, and there can only be one historical figure. Who would it be to go back in time and have dinner with that person?
my Nona.
Okay, nice. Um, if you could only time travel in one direction, to the future or to the past, which where would you do your time travel to?
Past.
Okay. What
I would
era?
want to go back and tell her, you're going to be okay.
Okay. Nice.
Like everything works out. Believe in yourself. Keep going. Because I think that if I had someone told me that when I was younger,
Mhm.
who knows what I could have accomplished so much sooner.
Okay. All right, good stuff. Good. This was a great conversation. I enjoyed it very much.
Thank you.
And let's go through some social media coordinates. Let's go through some websites, some emails. Let's
Yeah,
jump into it. And
all the things.
I'll put it in the show notes too, and in the YouTube comment section, as well as wherever I could put it up, I'll put it up. But while we're out, let's do it verbally here and take your time, do it nice and slowly, because sometimes I feel like people rush through it and it's tough to spell or tough to write down. So take your time and go through all your coordinates and share that with the audience who would love to engage with you.
Absolutely. So on Instagram, I am at Thrive with Alessia. So that's THRIVE with WITH. And then Alessia, that's ALESSIA, Thrive with Alessia. That's also my website handle, www.thrivewithalessia.com.
Mhm.
So same spelling, same thing, thrivewithalessia.com. And then Gmail is also thrivewithalessia at gmail.com. So super easy all around. It's all Thrive with Alessia. That's how you can reach me online on my website. You can follow me on Instagram, DM me. That's probably the fastest way to get in touch with me. You can also send me a message through my website, or you can email me directly at thrivewithalessia at gmail.com.
That's great. And you're for in person, you're in a tri-state area, specifically Connecticut, right? But then
Yes.
also you do anything virtually as
I
well?
do a ton virtual.
Okay.
Yeah, I do a ton virtual for corporate clients. I do virtual presentations
Mhm.
and virtual sessions. I do once a month during the full moon a free online yoga class for anyone who wants to join. It's half an hour from 7 to 7:30 usually. Whatever night the full moon happens, I post about it on my Instagram page. I also have a monthly newsletter that I send out upcoming events to. So if you want to get on the distribution list for my newsletter, you can email me thrivewithalessia at gmail.com and I can add you to that distribution list. I will be honest, you need to check your uh, spam folder because a lot of times it goes to spam when we first add someone to the distribution list.
Okay. Super informative today. Thank you so much. I learned, and I did yoga. It was an accomplishment for
I
me.
know. Congratulations. You're a yogi now.
I'm gonna do more. I want to do more now. I want to do more breathing and more breath work.
You keep reading.
All right, this is awesome, and we shall talk soon. Hope to have you back to
Sounds good.
a future episode as well.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you having me on. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Bye.